collapses. Vandalizing gas pipelines is a criminal offense against the Nigerian people. Let us join hands and protect our gas pipelines from the enemies of Nigeria. Report any suspected.
President Buhari hails Facebook chief executive for visit to Nigeria and inspiring a new generation of Nigerian entrepreneurs.
This country is going to be built, and is going to be built on the energy, on the innovation, and on the creativity of the very young people who are here.
Vice President Yemi Osinbajo promises support to youths with ideas in technology. And experts call for a more aggressive approach to tackling illicit drug use, trafficking and organized crime in West Africa. A warm welcome to NTA Network News. I'm Elizabeth Banu and we're reaching you live from Abuja, Nigeria's capital city. President Muhammadu Buhari has stressed Nigeria's appreciation to the co-founder and chief executive officer of Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, for sharing his wealth of knowledge with the nation's youth and inspiring a new generation of entrepreneurs. Receiving the internet entrepreneur at the presidential villa, the president described his visit to Nigeria as most timely when opportunities are being explored by government to spur national growth and development through entrepreneurship. State House correspondent Adamu Sambu reports.
The chief executive officer and co-founder of Facebook, a social networking website, Mark Zuckerberg, is in Nigeria to promote the penetration of fast and cheap internet connectivity, express Wi-Fi, that will help the creation of online businesses for poverty reduction. President Muhammadu Buhari commended Mr. Zuckerberg for identifying with Nigeria as well as sharing his knowledge and wealth with the young entrepreneurs. The country, he said, has always been identified as one destined for greatness in view of the abundant, youthful and productive population. This time, the president, however, said the nation is moving beyond the potentials to reality. President Muhammadu Buhari noted that the simplicity and magnanimity of the entrepreneur as one of the world's richest men had challenged the culture of lavish wealth display and impulsive spending peculiar to Nigerians. As he puts it, we are not used to seeing successful people sweating on the streets like you, but in air-conditioned places, you are well off and simple enough to always share. In his remarks, the co-founder of Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, described as impressive the interest, energy, and entrepreneurial spirit displayed by young Nigerians in all the ICT camps he visited since arrival. In his words, I am highly impressed and simply blown away by the talent of the youth as well as the level of energy that I saw at the co-creation hub in Yaba, Lagos. Born in 1984, the world's youngest billionaire, Mark Zuckerberg, co-founded Facebook in 2004 that now has 1 billion monthly active users. Also at the presidential villa, President Muhammadu Buhari played host to the finalists of the Aso Villa Demo Day aimed at promoting entrepreneurship, innovation, and economic growth through new and emerging technology. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
And Vice President Yemi Osinbajo has welcomed on board the Buhari administration some Nigerian youth whose technological ideas and innovations can be used as solution in the Nigerian public and private sectors. The Vice President, Yemi Osinbajo, at the Aso Villa Demonstration Day says government is willing to support any youth whose idea is in pursuit of the federal government's focus on technology as a major driver of economic growth. State House correspondent Didier Onifade reports that Mark Zuckerberg of Facebook was also in attendance. We seem to have lost the audio on that report. We'll bring it to you in the course of the bulletin. The presidency says the Buhari administration is people-focused and wants the country's economy to grow in a way that will create a more stable future that is not dictated by oil prices. Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, stated this in a statement on the economy. He said the present administration is trying to reset the economy and ensure that it attains its potential. The Senior Special Assistant said apart from curbing wasteful spending and saving over 8 billion naira monthly after eliminating about 40,000 ghost workers from the federal payroll, government is also increasing spending on capital projects. He said currently focus is on key sectors apart from oil that can create jobs and generate revenue, such as agriculture, mineral resources, and manufacturing. Malan Garba Shehu explained that all these are happening at a time when the global economy is facing serious recession. The US, UK, and France military support control base to multinational joint task force has commended the Nigerian army for its role in combating the Boko Haram insurgency. This was at an interactive session with the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai, at the Center for Coalition and Liaison in N'Djamena, Chad. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa has details.
Records indicate that both the developed and developing nations have had cause to battle with terrorism. With the global dimension of the criminal act, the Center for Coalition and Liaison is a multinational military support base to the war against Boko Haram.
They've been providing us a very useful intelligence, and this is what we want them to continue. And as we move in towards the end of the counter-insurgency operation, we need more of this intelligence.
Discussions at the center featured on improved intelligence gathering and sharing and the need to sustain the current tempo in the quest to eradicate the remnants of Boko Haram from the identified spots.
Particularly in the last few weeks, the performance of Nigerian armed forces in progressing the operation in the northeast of Borno has been first class, and I think it's demonstrated a real regional leadership in that area. It's achieved effects on the ground, and it's offered a good model for the region of how we're going to continue to fight Boko Haram.
The base has support from US, UK, France and Nigeria. From N'Djamena, Chad, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
And the fight against crime and criminality in any society should not be left for the police alone, as every individual has a role to play. FCT Police Commissioner Mohammed Mustafa stressed this at the launch of the FCT Police Command Eminent People's Forum. IODG Abdul Malik reports that the forum was initiated by the Acting Inspector General of Police, Ibrahim Idris.
The forum, which comprises of retired senior police officers, community, religious and opinion leaders, is geared towards involving the public in providing adequate security in the territory. The FCT Commissioner of Police, Mohammed Mustafa, says the forum constituted is one of the measures put in place to encourage community policing as well as build confidence in the reformed police force.
We're closing the gap between the police and the public, members of the public. So I think it's going to be a very robust one. It's going to be a very good one for all of us.
While assuring the police of their support in the fight against crime and criminality in all parts of the FCT, some members of the forum stressed the need for training and retraining of the officers and men of the force so that they can meet the challenges of the day.
Government, whether local government, area council government, state government, FCT government, federal government, you must be concerned about the security and the well-being of their citizens.
Quite commendable, but all in all, whatever contributions everybody is making here, if actions are not taken, it will still be in vain.
Clerk to the National Assembly, Mohammed Sani Omolori, says the National Assembly will forge a successful collaboration with the ECOWAS Parliament. He was speaking while receiving the newly appointed Secretary General of ECOWAS, Dr. Nelson Magbagbeola, in Abuja. National Assembly correspondent Dennis Adeguloye reports.
The clerk to the National Assembly, while congratulating the Secretary General of the Economic Community of West African States, said his visit is timely. He described both his appointment as CNA and that of the new ECOWAS Secretary General as a call to duty considering the expectations of parliaments at the national and regional levels. The Secretary General of ECOWAS, who assumed office in February 2016, noted that it was crucial to forge a close working relationship with all member countries as early as possible in order to identify areas in Africa's parliamentary systems that can be improved upon. After their meeting behind closed doors, the CNA had this to say.
We have reiterated that idea, the need for us to continue to collaborate in the months and the years ahead in order that, first of all, in the area of training, in the area of parliamentary ideas and exchanges that we need to continue to do. And then our sister organization, NILS, is also coming handy.
The clerk to the National Assembly expressed the hope that ECOWAS will collaborate with the National Assembly towards achieving these capacity-building initiatives. From the National Assembly, Dennis Adeguloye, NTA News.
We earlier told you that Vice President Yemi Osinbajo has welcomed on board the Buhari administration some Nigerian youths whose technological ideas and innovations can be used as solutions in the Nigerian public and the private sector. The Vice President, Yemi Osinbajo, at the Aso Villa demonstration day says government is willing to support any youth whose idea is in pursuit of the federal government's focus on technology as a major driver of the economy. State House correspondent Jide Onifade reports that Mark Zuckerberg, Facebook founder, was also in attendance.
In the Hall of Fame, everyone is a winner. And that goes for these young Nigerians whose creativity has paved way for them in making contributions to the growth of the nation. More than 4,000 youths participated in the pre-selection stage across Nigeria for local innovative ideas good enough to solve problems. And of the 4,000, 30 got to this stage, among whom 3 others were selected as winners. And after visiting each of the stands, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo says all the participants are winners.
This country is going to be built, and is going to be built on the energy, on the innovation, and on the creativity of the very young people who are here. And I don't want, whenever young people say that, we want to be included, I believe very strongly that today you're included. And no one has a choice in that matter. No one has a choice. Today, technology has created a level playing field to create wealth, to create connectivity, to create all manner of things across the world.
Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, says this is a good development for Nigeria.
We are now realizing that we need to move away from the traditional belief where economy is resource-based to an economy which is knowledge-based.
The Aso Villa demonstration day is in pursuit of the Buhari presidency focus on technology as a major driver of economic growth.
What this demonstrates today is that the plan of government in terms of diversification is beginning to take root. And that through diversification, it will be very possible for us to quickly get out of recession and then have Nigerian economy booming again.
The government of Nigeria is doing well. And I want to encourage the federal government of Nigeria to really encourage, especially the local IT companies, to really invest more on this startup, because the focus is now to create wealth, to build capacity, and also to create more jobs.
We're going to be supporting all the startups through the process of becoming proper companies, commercialization, incubation. We're also going to ensure that this doesn't just end with the 30 startups that have been here. But
From the banquet hall of the presidential villa, Jide Onifade, NTA News.
Stakeholders have advocated for a more rugged approach to tackling the growing menace of illicit drug use, trafficking and organized crimes in the West African sub-region. This was at the opening of a 4-day seminar comprising of ECOWAS member states, Mauritania's Minister of Justice, technical partners, as well as regional organizations working in the areas of weather and climate service. Abdul Malik Adio has details.
A thief in the night, in an increasingly intercontinental world, drug abuse and trafficking have found their way into developing countries such as Nigeria and the rest of West African sub-region, which have become an attractive destination for transnational organized crimes. Apart from poverty and diseases like HIV/AIDS and malaria, illicit drug use, organized crime and trafficking account for many deaths in several West African countries. At this forum, these experts are expected to review and recommend for the approval of the 2016-2020 ECOWAS Regional Action Plan to address the problem.
The major effort has to be done by the member states to clear some services that are involved in drug trafficking.
The criminal will have their way over and above. So this meeting is geared towards, scaling the tempo of activity across the nations, across the two sub-regions, and of course within these nations.
Chairman of the forum, Dr. Fatimata Diasao, while addressing the forum, said it is the responsibility of every member state to close its doors to these problems and encourage them to do so. She said working together is the most effective way to tackle these vices, and that if this is done, the West African sub-region will rid off the vices.
First of all, it can enable us to reinforce the capability of ECOWAS, because at the beginning we do not have enough human resources and enough financial resources, but now we have recruited people who are in charge and very specialized in drug. That will be very helpful for our plan of action.
It is hoped that at the end of this 4-day seminar, recommendations for the initiative to identify emerging challenges and the approval of the 2016-2020 ECOWAS Regional Action Plan to address illicit drug trafficking and related organized crimes and drug abuse in West Africa will be assented to, and this will be the beginning of a lasting solution to the menace in West Africa. In Abuja, Abdul Malik Adio, NTA News.
Experts in the health sector are calling for more specific and targeted interventions aimed at ending malnutrition and reducing health inequalities in Nigeria. This was at a presentation tagged Malnutrition and Healthcare Delivery Affecting the Lives of Nigerian Children, organized by Save the Children in Abuja. Aisha Ubali has details.
In Nigeria, research shows that malnutrition remains the underlying cause of morbidity and mortality of large proportion of children under age 5. With this, over 50% of children's death is in this bracket age, and in northern Nigeria, half of all children under 5 years are said to be suffering from acute malnutrition. At this press conference, members of Save the Children say, as part of efforts to tackle malnutrition, the organization is currently implementing what is called Working to Improve Nutrition in Northern Nigeria, a project funded by DFID in collaboration with partners, civil society and government of Nigeria. Building on the gains of the past, this group, Save the Children, is also launching a new 3-year global campaign tagged Every Last Child. The campaign's target is on addressing the challenges of poverty and discrimination that prevent children from accessing qualitative health care, as well as forging partnership to ensure every last child survives and is protected.
I tell you, as we work with government in these areas, we are helping to strengthen the health system.
One of our projects we are looking at talks about the integration community case management of these 3 major killers of under 5, the pneumonia, malaria, and diarrhea.
Here we want to see that pregnant women have access and utilize iron folate.
The members say unless steps are taken to recognize that excluded children exist and provide them with the needed services, it will be impossible to ensure that all children thrive. In Abuja, Aisha Uba Ali, NTA News.
Still talking health, a case has been made for the removal of the National Health Insurance Scheme funds from the Treasury Single Account TSA so as to achieve prompt service delivery. This was at the National Health Insurance Scheme NHIS management meeting in Kaduna, which had as its theme repositioning the NHIS towards achieving universal health coverage. Chimdiman Dibisi reports.
The National Health Insurance Scheme began operations in 2005 with the aim of providing access to quality healthcare services for all Nigerians at affordable cost through prepayment systems. But 11 years down the line, the story is different.
That morning when I went there, around after 11, they told me that it's already late. They cannot attend to me. And I was seriously impaired. I was even crying.
Not all drugs that are covered.
To address the anomaly and bearing in mind President Muhammadu Buhari's mandate to the Executive Secretary on making the scheme work for all Nigerians, a strong monitoring team will be formed to ensure health maintenance organizations and caregivers do their bit effectively.
I will put the enrollee in the driver's seat. I need to see in real time how much of enrollee's money goes to whom, why, when, for what. I need to see money returned back by HMOs to the NHIS if they are not used.
The regulator, all they need to do is have their hammer ready, that anybody that is not following the rules will be fined, sanctioned, or get his certificate withdrawn.
The state health insurance scheme has a very, very strong component for the underprivileged. And this is going to be the main focus to ensure that we reach every citizen.
What we need is to ensure that there's full implementation of the policies that are already on ground.
The National Health Insurance Scheme is also to develop an ICT platform where a comprehensive database of the enrollees will be accessible. Chimdema Ndubisi, NTA News.
The federal government is targeting an annual production of 7 million tons of rice in the next 24 months. Minister of Agriculture, Audu Ogbe, says this will be achieved with the support of Japan International Cooperation Agency, JICA. This is coming as the government is set to sign a memorandum of understanding with India on the production of seasoning to the tune of over $100 billion. Musa Baba Aliu reports.
Nigerian farmers are currently producing an estimated 4 tons per hectare against the international average of 16 tons per hectare. This has left the country with deficit of over 3 million metric tons of rice. To close this gap, therefore, the federal government is adopting a new system of rice cultivation tagged Rice Post-Harvest Processing and Marketing, which of the pilot project is being implemented in some parts of the country. The project, which is a collaboration with Japanese government, will also provide small-scale milling centers in rural areas. Meanwhile, the Minister of State for Agriculture, Henakin Lokobiri, says Nigeria is set to sign an agreement on the supply of seasonings to India, and the Indian Prime Minister is expected to be in the country for the agreement. The minister was speaking as he received a report of Inter-Ministerial Committee on export of Nigerian produce.
We are looking forward to, concretizing that arrangement with the Indian High Commissioner so that the Indian Prime Minister can come, we can sign the MOU, and we can encourage as many people as possible, to grow these policies that will mature in 4 months.
The Inter-Ministerial Committee was constituted to address recurring ban on Nigerian produce at international commodity markets. In Abuja, Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
You can watch this news live online via the NTA mobile app, which you can download on your Android device at the Google Play Store or at the Apple Store if you use devices with iOS. APC National Secretariat moves to resolve all crises in the state chapter, sets up caretaker committee for Gombe. We'll bring you details in just a moment. Stay with us.
Change does not just happen. You and I and all of us must appreciate that we all have our part to play if we want to bring change about. We must change our lawless habits, our attitude to public office, and public trust. We must change our unruly behavior in schools, hospitals, marketplaces, motor parks, on the roads, in homes and offices. To bring about change, we must change ourselves by being law-abiding citizens.
My father said opportunity knocks every minute. He used to say to me that even the rising sun is an opportunity. A man must give each day everything. I live by those words. Just 1 minute of one day can change everything. Every day he stepped out with the belief that today might just be that day.
At FCMB, we believe every day is a new opportunity. Let's help you step forward and take it. FCMB, my bank and I.
Bayes University Abuja offers world-class education, uninterrupted academic session, and promising degrees for a sustainable job. Bayes University Abuja is affordable and delivers quality with experienced international staff, superb facilities, overseas external examiners, and a serene academic atmosphere. We offer quality and affordable education, and students are within easy reach of their parents here at Bayes University Abuja. So learn to live at Bayes University for a brighter future. For more information, visit our website at www.bayesuniversity.edu.ng or call 081 3376 9657 or 081 3376 9658. Bayes University Abuja. Learn to live.
Do you know that 2.5 million children in Nigeria are malnourished and about 500,000 are likely to die yearly if nothing is done? To combat this public health emergency, Her Excellency Aisha Muhammad Buhari initiated Get Involved, a component of a future assured project to fight malnutrition in children, especially those at the internally displaced people's camp. The launch of the Get Involved project is an opportunity for all Nigerians to lend their support to this noble cause. The pre-launch of Get Involved project is from 29th August to 2nd September 2016. Time 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. daily. Venue International Conference Center, Abuja. Launching holds on Saturday, 3rd of September 2016. Time 10 a.m. Venue International Conference Center, Abuja. For more details, email programs@futureassured.org.ng. Get involved and save the life of a Nigerian child today.
If we have lost the opportunity of 15 years, let us no longer lose any opportunity for the future. Our alternative is agriculture, immediately, and solid minerals.
We should be appreciative of the president who has again diverted attention to this issue of agriculture.
The present administration is determined to go back to planning, identify priorities beforehand. When money comes, it is applied to that purpose. You can see the results.
We are determined to rehabilitate our country, especially for our children and our grandchildren.
Thank you for staying with us on NTA Network News. The leadership of the All Progressives Congress says it will not leave anything to chance again in winning those states lost due to internal crisis in the 2015 general elections. The Deputy National Chairman North of the party, Senator Lawal Shuaibu, stated this while inaugurating the Gombe State Chapter Caretaker Leadership Committee. Abdullah Garba Birnekudu reports.
In what appears like re-energizing and uniting party members, the event attracted members of the National Assembly and the Environment Minister Amina Mohammed. The 4-member caretaker committee was drawn from the 3 northeast neighboring states. This, the Deputy National Chairman North said, is to ensure fairness in the emergence of new executives in the state. He charged them to work within the mandate of streamlining offices while carrying everybody along.
2 states, Gombe and Taraba, we assure you are APC states. But because one thing leading to the other, they slipped through our fingers. We assure you we are not going to allow it again.
The new caretaker chairman in Gombe State re-echoed the need for all to work with the new caretaker committee.
Work on the modus operandi given to us and then make our party great.
Regardless of the previous differences, if any, to assure you that we will give maximum support and loyalty to the newly inaugurated leadership in the state.
The caretaker leadership has 4 months to conclude its assignment. In Abuja, Abdullahi Garba Kudu, NTA News.
Nigeria's efforts at attaining development could be accelerated if gender equality is embraced, where the potential of the women is properly deployed for national development. This was the opinion of experts on Good Morning Nigeria as they discussed the latest UN Development Index as it affects Nigeria. Lydia Sampson reports.
The UNDP Africa Human Development Report 2016 is entitled Advancing Gender Equality and Women's Empowerment in Africa. Nigeria is ranked 152nd out of 188 countries, placing her among countries with low Human Development Index propelled by disparities between the female and male gender. The guests were unanimous that achieving gender equality and women empowerment is imperative to reverse the trend, particularly in Nigeria, where development is a major challenge.
We're not coordinated, so our efforts are in little tiny piecemeals. And then you have all these other CSOs, NGOs doing little things as well.
I think we cannot leave it there. We have to raise them to a higher level.
We are beginning to be proactive and hands-on. We're not stuck in being defined by data and by a report.
While lamenting what they call lack of understanding of gender equality issues, the guest said minimizing discriminatory practices and opening up opportunities for women will fast-track Nigeria's growth.
If we had concerted a concerted response that involves all tiers of governance, involves citizens.
If we can have again that central force pulling us together, we can better harness our effort.
In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
In keeping with its zero-tolerance policy towards piracy and other copyright infringements, the Nigerian Copyright Commission says it has convicted 54 suspects and seized pirated products valued at over 8.1 billion naira in the last 5 years. The Director General, Nigeria Copyright Commission, Afam Ezekude, said this at a media parley in Abuja. Gabriel Odu reports.
Giving a scorecard of the Commission's activities since January 2011 to date, the Director General notes that 270 anti-piracy operations were carried out at various locations in the country.
Apart from the convictions, the Commission has in the period mentioned intercepted 25 containers of pirated Nigerian and foreign works and carried out public destruction of about 749,316 units of seized pirated copyright works and contrivances, estimated at about 10 billion 300 million.
The Director General also informed that the World Intellectual Property Organization, WIPO, an arm of the United Nations, has decided to locate its Africa Regional Office in Nigeria. The only other African country granted this privilege is Algeria. In Abuja, Gabriel Udu, NTA News.
Abia State is one of the states in the southeast zone that is seriously devastated by gully erosion. Obuohia Obi Ibere in Ikwanu local government area of Abia State is one of such areas that is currently under the threat of this phenomenon, as the community is nearly cut off from the rest of the state. Chinyere Okoli reports.
Obuja Obibere is the third densely populated community in Ikwanno local government area of Abia State, as its people is predominantly farmers. But the surge of gully erosion have continued to hamper their agricultural activities as well as their living standard. The member representing Ikwanno Federal Constituency, Honorable Sam Onuibo, while conducting NTA crew around the erosion site, said there are a large number of erosion sites. He said many buildings are currently on the verge of collapse, while others are under serious threat due to heavy flooding in the area.
The NDDC contractor attempted to do this road, abandoned this road, but against all advice not to channel the water into this area, the contractor channeled the water into this area and now accelerated the destruction of the road almost in its entirety. Let me mention that this erosion menace has claimed some buildings around this community and rendered a lot of people homeless.
Some youths of the community embarked on a self-help project to alleviate the hardship caused by the gully erosion and appeal to the relevant authorities to come to their aid. From Umuahia, Chinyere Okoli, NTA News.
This is NTA Network News. Time to join Jennifer in Lagos for more stories of some business news. Over to you, Jennifer.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Good evening and a warm welcome to Lagos. Not less than 10,000 youths from 18 states across the country will benefit from this year's National Industrial Skills Development Program organized by the Industrial Training Fund, ITF. Acting Director General of the fund, Dixon Onuoha, stated this when he flagged off the 5th phase of the training scheme in Lagos. Musa Toliat completes the report.
The dream of becoming self-reliant for these youth is only 3 months away. They were fortunate to be enlisted among the beneficiaries of this year's National Industrial Skills Development Program of the federal government. The program is designed to harness the potential of the Nigerian youth with a view to addressing the skills gap in the country in line with federal government's Industrial Revolution Plan. Officials of the Industrial Training Fund say the youth will be trained in various vocational skills, including catering and hotel management, tailoring and fashion design, refrigeration and air conditioning, as well as domestic electrical installation. Other vocational programs are information and communication technology, web design, wheel balancing, and alignment.
The program is targeted at providing a pool of human capital to consolidate and sustain the federal government's commitment towards industrialization and economic diversification.
This experience is a life-changing one for all of you.
The Industrial Training Fund is organizing the vocational training program in collaboration with the Lagos State government.
Lagos State government is pursuing a policy of job wealth creation in order to address the massive unemployment problems.
Some of the trainees for the 5th phase of the training program expressed their aspirations.
This will go a long way because they are giving us opportunity to be self-employed.
As for me, I found myself very lucky.
The National Industrial Skills Development Program commenced in 2012 and has produced thousands of well-trained artisans across the country. In Lagos, Musa Toliat, NTA News.
The Courier Regulatory Department of the Nigerian Postal Service has sealed off 5 illegal courier companies in Lagos. The Senior Assistant Postmaster General and Head of Courier Regulatory Department, Dr. Simon Emeje, disclosed this during a media briefing in Lagos. Rotimi Oluwagbemi has the details.
The Senior Assistant Postmaster General says the continuous clampdown on illegal courier companies is to create an enabling environment for courier business to thrive in Nigeria. Dr. Simon Emeje said the 5 courier companies are operating without registration with NIPOST. Apart from being sealed off, their dispatched motorcycles were also impounded.
There are so many eateries around in the town that are delivering either food or one item or the other. By our law, no organization is supposed to deliver anything on a door-to-door basis and on time-sensitive platform without getting license from NIPOST.
Dr. Emeje further said that operational license of 12 registered courier companies have been revoked due to non-renewal of their expired license.
The effort here is not to kill any business or kill indigenous businesses or even international businesses. The effort here is to sanitize, make the atmosphere conducive, give a nice conducive environment, then show them the way to do the business by first taking their license. So anyone we assess and we find to be very credible, we subject them to our test and see how we can help to license such one.
NIPOST says there will be zero tolerance for illegal courier operation in Nigeria. In Lagos, Rotimi Oluwagbemi, NTA News.
And now to business. As the nation slips into recession with rising inflation, economic experts are calling for total restructure of the economy with special focus on strategic public-private partnership to address the prevailing economic challenges. Amechi Pius has more on our business news segment.
Hello and welcome to Business News. Reactions have continued to trail the latest figures from the National Bureau of Statistics. According to the report, national unemployment rate rose to 13.3% in second quarter from 12.1% of 2016. The rate of unemployment increased by 1,158,700 persons, resulting in increase in the national unemployment rates.
We will have a situation where many households, depending on each person who is employed, are better looked after. You will be dealing death blows on poverty, on the situation of poor health care, the state of environmental hygiene in the country, and many other dimensions of the Human Development Index by which you measure how well nations are developing and progressing.
The increase in food prices and imported goods pushed up the Consumer Price Index, which measures inflation, to 17.5% in 2016.
You have to reflate the economy. Government has to spend money because it is government money that circulates and stimulates economic activity everywhere. Now, the economic system also should be one that guarantees development and equity to all.
Experts say all of this economic data is a wake-up call for the government to take appropriate steps to addressing the various economic challenges.
What we need to do is focus on what is paramount to us, which is how to restore growth. When you restore growth and the productivity improves, inflation will eventually moderate. So for me, the emphasis should not be how do we restart growth in the economy. If we don't, like I mentioned earlier, we're going to gradually push this economy into a depression. And it's more difficult to come out of a depression than it is to come out of a recession.
And that's Business News. Thanks for watching. The news continues shortly. Good evening.
Thank you, Amechi. Now, if you're just joining us, you're watching the NTA Network News from the Lagos Network Center. More stories ahead on the news when we return after this timeout. Stay tuned.
5, 2, 1. Should I get yours?
Don't worry, I'll call you.
La pendule fait tic-tac, tic-tic. Les oiseaux du lac pic-pac, pic-pic. Glou, glou, glou font tous les dindons. Et la jolie cloche ding-ding-dong. Mais boum, quand notre... Hello? Hi. Yeah, it's me. How's it going? Boom.
Nigerians. Suicide bombers are not spirits. They are not ghosts. They are human beings like you and me. They live amongst us. They are your neighbors. They are your friends today, but terrorists tomorrow. So you must know your neighbor now. Security begins with you and me. Know your neighbor. Be vigilant. Be security conscious. Report suspicious persons, objects, and movements to the police and other security agencies. The security of our nation is a duty for you and me.
If you see something, say something. Nigeria unite against terrorism.
This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
Thank you for staying with us on NTA Network News. Nasarawa State Government is partnering with investors in coal mining and agriculture in line with the diversification drive of the federal government. Correspondent Joshua Ojito reports that the technical team of the investors have arrived at the state on feasibility study.
In addition to other solid minerals deposited in large quantity in the state that are yet untapped, research shows that Nasarawa State has over 300 million metric tons of coal largely deposited in Obi local government area of the state. Receiving the team of investors who are willing to explore and exploit coal in the state, Governor Al-Mukura said the state government will provide enabling environment for them to mine the abundant coal deposit in the state.
Ways and means of adding value to the potential that we have in Nasarawa State and also creating wealth for the entire citizenry.
This is in addition to rice production and sugarcane plantation, where the investors are expected to cultivate the 17 hectares of land in Tunga and Duma to also boost irrigation farming.
The potentials we have, we try to see how we can exploit them.
We have also seen the opportunities around Obi of the coal mining operations.
In Lafia, Joshua Ojito, NTA News.
Malaria remains one of the major public health problems as Nigeria accounts for 25% infant mortality and 11% maternal deaths. As part of efforts to ensure a healthy Nigeria, the National Malaria Elimination Program has adopted seasonal malaria chemo prevention in Sahelian states of the country. Usman Mohammed Binji reports.
Flagging up the 2016 seasonal malaria chemo prevention in Sokoto State, Governor Aminu Waziri Tambol described malaria as deadlier than poliomyelitis. He assured his administration's commitment to do everything possible to fight malaria and improve health care delivery.
The local government council should also give their maximum support to this program as it is aimed at improving the health of our people. Similarly, traditional religious leaders who are our fathers are required to support this laudable initiative for the benefit of our children.
Representative of National Coordinator Malaria Elimination Program, Dr. Jamil Jibril, told the gathering that in 2016, about 11.2 million children will benefit from seasonal malaria chemo prevention in the designated states. He called on state governments to commit more resources to the fight against malaria. State Commissioner of Health Dr. Balarab Shehu Kakali said health personnel have been trained to handle the distribution and house-to-house administration of the malaria drug to children from 3 to 5 years. In Sokoto, Suma Mohammed Benji, NTA News.
Muslim faithful have been admonished against casting aspersions on those entrusted with leadership responsibilities in the society. This was the message of Imam Abdullahi Ahmed of the FCDA Mosque, Area 11, Abuja, at the Jumat prayers. Abdullahi Suleiman Iyaji reports.
Recalling historical occurrences where a people received divine mercy in the face of hardship, the Imam enjoined worshippers to rededicate themselves in prayers for Allah to turn the fortunes of Nigeria around. He said Almighty Allah is capable of interventions beyond human expectation.
A verse said in the Quran that Inna Allah la yughayyiru ma biqawmin hatta yughayyiru ma bi anfusihim. Allah will never change the situation of people until they change it themselves. If they are doing good, they turn to bad, and something affected them, or it's that badness affected their economy or whatever, they should come back to Allah and amend themselves so that Allah will amend also or adjust. We should not be abusing the government or saying unnecessary things. What we should be doing is to pray for them or to advise where necessary.
He added that Islam is a religion that encourages hard work, obedience to the rule of law, and warned Muslim faithful to avoid sin, which can prevent them from receiving Allah's mercy. In Abuja, Abdullahi Suleiman Iyaji, NTA News.
Wife of the President, Mrs. Aisha Muhammadu Buhari, has once again emphasized the need for all Nigerians and other critical stakeholders to join in the fight against malnutrition in Nigeria. State House correspondent Aliu Kabir reports.
Mrs. Buhari, who was speaking at a hotel to mark the end of the official launch of Get Involved initiative, also described the magnitude of the problem as one that cannot be solved by one stakeholder or group, but a collective responsibility.
This is the time for us to once again renew our intentions and commitments towards ending the problem of malnutrition facing our country today. As part of my continuous efforts, I am today presenting a template to Nigerians through the Get Involved initiative. This platform is being used to create awareness about malnutrition. Everyone here and all who have contributed towards this laudable program, Her Excellency wishes to thank you because all you have done by getting involved is letting the crying stop.
She also explained the bonuses accompanying the Get Involved initiative to Nigerians, comprising encouraging the spirit of nationalism, stimulating patronage of made-in-Nigerian goods, as well as encouragement of the spirit of volunteerism. Critical stakeholders from the ministries, departments and agencies of the government, as well as non-governmental organizations from within and outside the country, and other development partners reaffirmed their commitment in supporting the wife of the president in addressing the.
We've also developed sectorial plans.
Up ahead, global tidbits, sports news, and a look at Saturday's weather prospects. We'll be back in just a moment.
The production, distribution, and sale of counterfeit and fake drugs is a corrupt practice and a crime against humanity. This has informed several measures and strategies to combat fake drugs, including introduction of anti-counterfeiting cutting-edge technologies to detect fake drugs on the spot. These technologies are being deployed to all the states across the Federation, as well as the internally displaced people's camps. The President, Muhammadu Buhari, and his team are committed to this fight.
The federal government of Nigeria, in line with its anti-corruption agenda and posture, will fight a total war against fake drugs and other unwholesome regulated products in order to ensure that Nigerians remain healthy and well.
Lend your support and join NAFDAC to rid the country of fake drugs and unwholesome regulated products. NAFDAC, safeguarding the health of the nation.
Thank you for staying with us on NTA Network News. More than 1,000 people arrested in Libreville, the Gabonese capital, as violent protests enter day 2, and Uzbekistan's president dies in Turkey. These and more on Global Tidbits with Gabriel Odu.
The protests sparked off after the electoral body announced incumbent President Ali Bongo as winner of the presidential polls. Opposition candidate Jinping has called for ballot recount, citing irregularities. Meanwhile, the UN Secretary General has called for calm. On health matters now, a study by scientists writing in the Lancet Infectious Diseases have said that about 2 billion people could be at risk of contracting Zika virus outbreaks in Africa and Asia. The scientists added that the infection spread by mosquito bites reached Africa recently from Brazil. And reports from Turkey indicate that Uzbekistan's President Islam Karimov has died of brain hemorrhage in Turkish hospital at age 78. That's Global Tidbits. Gabriel Odu, NTA News.
The sporting scene, Super Eagles technical advisors assured Nigeria